The state of emergency in Jamaica extended for another 3 months. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, January 31. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Security forces in Jamaica will continue to have special powers in the parish of St. James until May 2nd. And that's because the state of emergency that had been declared on January 18th for an initial period of 14 days was extended on Tuesday after the House of Representatives voted in favor of a motion to do so. Under the measure, security forces have the power to search, curtail operating hours of businesses, restrict access to places, detain people without a warrant, stop and question people, and seize property. Speaking ahead of a vote on the resolution on the extended state of emergency, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said police and soldiers had made some progress in fighting crime in the parish using those powers, but he said additional time was needed to accomplish more. And we get more from Andrea Chisholm of TVJ News.
14 days was not enough for the security forces to use extraordinary powers to put a lid on crime in St. James. So in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, a resolution from Prime Minister Andrew Holness
to have the state of public emergency and the emergency powers regulations remain in force until May the 2nd, 2018.
51 voted in favor and 11 members are absent. The motion is carried.
While we will support this, we urge that all necessary measures be taken to ensure that the situation is brought under control. The country needs a clear sense of direction which must be pointed to by the government that can give us comfort that there is a solution in train that we can all support as law-abiding Jamaicans who wish the best for our country.
With over 130 murders since the start of the year, the opposition leader reiterated that the state of emergency alone cannot solve crime. And the Prime Minister again underscored that the security forces will be targeting those who facilitate criminals.
As the intelligence picture is built, and not only perpetrators, but also we are building the intelligence picture on the facilitators as well.
So how effective is the state of emergency so far? In addition to the seizure of 10 illegal guns, 51 persons being arrested and charged, the Prime Minister said law and order is being restored to St. James.
The visitors are moving around quite freely. In fact, the harassment levels have dropped. The buses are able to move much quicker from the port to the attractions because we are seeing greater order, not just in pedestrian traffic, but in vehicular traffic through Montego Bay. So there are some positive effects.
It also suggested that the entity that investigates alleged abuses by members of the security forces needs to be more equitable in carrying out its operations. He sent a signal that the act governing the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, may be amended.
I think this House, which created the institution, which still retains the power, at some point, and I suspect it will have to be sooner than later, we will have to take some decisions to to ensure that that very important institution operates with balance.
Opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips echoed similar sentiments, urging Indicom to show more respect to members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force during its investigations of police shootings.
Urge them to obey the law. I want to urge those who investigate them, including Indicom, to be mindful of the circumstances in which they operate. If I can be blunt, if Indicom has a problem with the members of the security forces, I don't think they disarm them in public, in full view of the citizens. There is literally a war that has been declared on society. And in that circumstances, you cannot weaken those who serve in the face of those who attack them.
The Trinidad and Tobago government is looking at legislation to protect prison officers. National Security Minister Edmund Dillon confirmed the plan as he responded to questions in the Senate about what was being done to safeguard the lives of prison officers following the killing of another one last Friday. On Monday, he met with the Prison Officers Association, the Prisoners Commissioner and the Acting Commissioner of Police to explore additional initiatives to provide protection for prison officers.
Minister Dillon's remarks on specific measures to treat with criminals who attack members of the various arms of law enforcement come on the heels of a meeting he said he was engaged in with key stakeholders on determining the way forward.
Only last evening, the Minister of National Security met with the Prisoners Association together with the Commissioner of Prisons and the Commissioner of Police to explore additional initiatives. To date, Madam President, we are looking at legal framework to treat with people who commit offences against not only prison officers, but members of the protective services and defense and security services.
He says the national security interagency approach, which has been adopted, is another key factor in treating with this issue. Dillon reveals that he visited Asha Budram, the wife of slain prisons officer Devendra Budram, on Monday, and he affirms that help in coping with her family's ordeal is being provided.
Had discussion with his wife and his relatives, and in fact counseling were provided and continues to be provided to his family, immediate family, his wife and his children.
But whether or not Budram's wife would be receiving compensation from the state is yet to be determined.
We have provided that facility to members of the defense and protective service, including prison officers in the past, and once it merits the law conditions so to do, that will be done, Madam President.
Dillon confirms that signal jammers, which are used to block cellular reception within the prisons, are up and functioning. And yet, hits are allegedly still being made from behind bars on officers.
Prisons have had some successes with respect to jammers, to the effect where they have seized several cell phones within the prison system. So they have achieved some level of successes. However, there's always room for improvement, and they continue to work assiduously to, as far as possible, eradicate or remove all cell phones from the prison system.
Dillon says the struggle in relation to this is ongoing.
Guyana President David Granger has welcomed the decision of the United Nations to refer his country's long-standing border dispute with Venezuela to the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. In an address to the nation on Tuesday night, Granger said Guyana has a solid case.
Guyana's position has always been that the basis of the controversy was a legal question which should be resolved peacefully and conclusively through a legal process. Guyana remains confident in the correctness of its case. Guyana looks forward to the reaffirmation of the validity of the 1899 arbitral award before the International Court of Justice.
The recent flare-up of the Guyana-Venezuela border dispute began after the 2016 discovery of oil and gas in the waters of Guyana's Essequibo region. President Granger said Guyana will take all the necessary steps to ensure that its national patrimony is protected for all times.
Guyana remains committed to the peaceful settlement of disputes, respect for international agreements and treaties, and to maintaining friendly relations with its neighbors. Guyana will pursue the path ahead in furtherance of the preservation of its sovereignty and territorial integrity, with quiet confidence and with the assurance in ever-improving relations with its neighbors, Brazil, Suriname, and Venezuela.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsland, we'll hear what transpired during a scheduled debate on a no-confidence motion against the St. Vincent and the Grenadines government. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
Come, sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh, look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
Ladies, grab your girlfriends, grab your guys, grab the whole family. Bring them out to the Concord Experience, where we say aloha to Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival. It's Lays, pineapples, coconuts, cocktails, and so much more Saturday, February 3rd and Sunday, February 4th from 12 noon. Be sure to visit the Hyundai Soundstage, the Arts Village, or enjoy our specialty events such as Feminars, the YWCA Charity Brunch, and the Stay Free Pad Parties. And we can't forget the fashion shows on the Neutrogena main stage. So get your early bird tickets now for only $20 from all Ticket Pal box offices, Cook's Finest, and all Italia Coffee locations, or enjoy the all-inclusive VIP foodie experience for only $80. Art parties, rejuvenation, shopping, food, and good friends. It's Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival 2018. Aloha! Thanks to Hyundai, Easy Pave Hardware, M Money by Bit, IGM Stage Lighting, Purity Bakeries, Y103.3 FM, The Spa Lounge, NCF, Sun General Insurance, and Trident 10 TV.
Welcome back. We continue in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where a debate on a no-confidence motion against the government was scheduled to take place on Wednesday. The motion was filed by the opposition, which contends that the Dr. Ralph Gonsalves administration has been failing the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines miserably. We're joined live on the line by opposition leader Dr. Goodwin Friday. Dr. Friday, good evening. All right, we just learned that we lost that call, so we're going to move on to another story, and we get back to that when we have him on the line again. Declining international reserves and weak public finances are the major contributors to Barbados's continued economic challenges, and that was highlighted on Wednesday by Governor of the Central Bank, Cleverson Haynes, as he presented a review of the country's 2017 performance. He said there was modest improvement in economic activity, and preliminary data suggest that the country experienced just 1% growth, and the economy is forecast to grow by 0.5 to 1% this year. Haynes said this low growth rate reflects the combined effects of slowdown in the tourism sector in the latter part of the year, implementation delays in foreign-funded investment projects, the impact of tighter fiscal policies, and the knock-on effects of high international oil prices. He says attention needs to be paid to certain economic indicators going forward.
Given this performance, there are two key priorities for 2018. Firstly, we need to strengthen the adjustment effort to reduce the fiscal balance to a sustainable level, facilitate a reduction in the debt to GDP ratio over time, and engender the investor confidence required for promoting an acceleration in economic activity over the medium term. Secondly, we need to complement the adjustment effort with significant public and private capital inflows that restore the stock of reserves, at least in line with the 12-week benchmark.
Unemployment increased from 9.7% in 2016 to 10.2% in 2017, and there was a 4% increase in the price of consumer goods such as food, beverages, tobacco, housing, and utilities. Governor Haynes says this increase was a result of higher international energy prices and increased of local indirect taxes. At the end of September, the fiscal deficit was $197 million Barbados dollars, the lowest it has been in 7 years, and Haynes attributes that to increased revenue from taxes as well as stabilization in non-interest expenditure. Looking forward, Haynes says Barbados will continue to face challenging macroeconomic conditions in 2018 as government intensifies efforts to strengthen public finances and implement a framework for sustainable growth.
For fiscal year 2018-2019, government must continue to build on the gains it has made on reducing the fiscal imbalance. The fiscal deficit for 2017-2018 is anticipated to be lower than for the previous year, but is unlikely to achieve its target because of the non-receipt of divestment proceeds and the lower than anticipated revenue yield. Further consolidation, particularly through structural expenditure reforms and improved tax administration, is now required. Effective implementation would help to prevent the further accumulation of arrears, which will aid in restoring confidence and facilitating private sector activity.
We now go back to our story from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where there was supposed to be a debate of a motion of no confidence in the government. That debate was supposed to have been held today. We have on the line Dr. Godwin Friday. Good evening, Dr. Friday.
Hello, good evening, Nicole. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for joining us. Please give us an update as to what transpired in the Parliament today.
Well, we went to the Parliament today at 9 o'clock intending to debate the motion of no confidence that the opposition had brought. And after the government had completed the debate on the estimates, the matter for the motion of no confidence came up. And I read the motion on behalf of the opposition. And then the Prime Minister rose and sought to essentially derail the process by introducing, first of all, a requirement, at least trying to argue that somehow we had to receive the support of somebody from the other side of the House or from the clerk of the House to say that the Speaker could not simply just schedule the matter to be heard or to be debated this morning. The Speaker essentially ruled against that on that point. Then there was the argument raised subsequently that our motion would be amended, and the amended motion would be debated. The amendment that was actually presented was not an amendment at all, but really a completely new motion, which essentially reversed everything that was being put forward in the motion of no confidence on behalf of the opposition, and just essentially stated the reverse, which is, it's a motion of confidence and basically saying all about the government. And this went on for about 2 hours. It was argued back and forth because we objected strongly to that, saying that this is not the motion that was presented, that under the Constitution of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Section 47, that we were entitled to bring a motion of no confidence that didn't require the support of the government side in order to have it debated in the House. And moreover, that it could not be amended to such an extent that it no longer reflected, the motion of no confidence.
So we understand,
and
Dr.
Eventually, the Speaker ruled, after vigorous back and forth, that the amendment could proceed and that the government essentially would debate the motion as they had presented it.
And so we understand as a result of that, your opposition members did not return to Parliament in the afternoon, that's correct?
That is correct, because the entire reason for us there today, and essentially for after the estimates debate had concluded, was to debate the motion of no confidence presented by the opposition.
But quickly though,
Go ahead.
Yes, with the slim minority that the opposition has, did you anticipate that the opposition would have been able to go through with this motion? Did you believe that, or was it just?
Well, we at the very least we expected to be able to debate the motion as we presented it. If there were minor changes here in language here and there and so on, correction of grammar, whatever. But to essentially have us debate a motion that we did not present, that the government presenting, and essentially a motion that praised the government, that said all these wonderful things about the government, and have that be the motion that the opposition was was expected to debate, that was not what we were there for. We were there for a motion of no confidence that we submitted in accordance with the Constitution. We had the requisite number of members or representatives from our side of the House, properly signed, and the Speaker brought it on to be heard in the Parliament within the time frame set in the Constitution. So everything was regular until we got to the House and the government side, the Prime Minister decided that they would amend the motion to make it one that was entirely favorable to the government, and then to require that to be the matter that will be debated in the House.
In 15 seconds.
Participating in that.
In 15 seconds, I'm so sorry to cut you here, but in 15 seconds, we understand that the opposition now has a protest march tonight? Is that in response to what happened today?
We have a public meeting. Yes, we have a public meeting. That's some of the noise you're hearing in the background. In Kingston, the meeting goes ahead, starting in about 10 minutes or so.
Thank you very much, Dr. Friday. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Come, experience cricket action like you have never seen it before at the Super 50 Cricket Festival 2018. 43 matches, Antigua and Barbados, 10 teams, an epic 50-over regional battle, a massive showcase of Caribbean cuisine, and a crowning of the Super 50 Cup champion, and one big after party. Calling all cricket fans January 30 to February 24. Come for the action, stay for the vibes. Get your tickets now on the ticketing app, and for more details, go to windiescricket.com.
Sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh, look, listen, feel, realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
West Indies seamers Miguel Cummins and Kimar Roach stunned Trinidad and Tobago Red Force with lethal spells as Barbados Pride made a successful start to their regional Super 50 title defense with a commanding 171-run victory on Tuesday. Sent in to bat, Pride rallied to 278 for 9 off their 50 overs, with all-rounder Kevin Stout stroking 74 and Test batsman Roston Chase gathering 50. Windward stroke maker Shea Hope carved out a typically elegant 47, while left-hander Jonathan Carter hit 37. Jamaican left-arm speedster Sheldon Cottrell and Russian Primus both ended with 3 wickets apiece, while off-spinner Sunil Narayan claimed 2 for 29. In reply, Red Force crumbled spectacularly for a disappointing 107 off 21.3 overs, undone by the home side's pace attack. Cummins snatched 4 for 35, Roach picked up 3 for 33, and medium pacer Carlos Brathwaite supported with 2 for 32. Roach was superb up front with the new ball, taking 3 wickets in his opening spell, which sent Red Force crashing to 17 for 4 in the 7th over. Sunil Narayan, batting at 8, smashed an explosive 28 ball 51, but Cummins and Brathwaite combined to wreck the remainder of the innings. Trinidadian wicketkeeper Denish Ramdin says he is still available for selection to the international side, but has no plans on burdening himself with the pressure of a recall. The 32-year-old has played 74 tests and 139 one-day internationals, but has not represented West Indies since being axed from the one-day squad 15 months ago. Ramdin returned to first-class cricket in the just-concluded season, making 799 runs at an average of 61, including 300s and 4 half-centuries. His form sparked discussion about a possible recall, but the Trinidadian said while he was always keen on playing for West Indies, he was happy to let his form speak for him. The former Test skipper boasts an underwhelming record with the bat in the longest format, with just 2,898 runs at an average of 25. He is still considered by many the region's best gloveman, with 216 test dismissals and 188 in one-dayers. England Lions left for the Caribbean Wednesday, bracing for a tough challenge in foreign conditions, but they're confident of executing following an intensive training camp down under. The squad, headed by Test opener Keaton Jennings, will clash with West Indies A in 3 4-day Test and 3 one-days in a tour running from February 5th to March 11th. Jennings, skippering the side for a second straight overseas tour, urged his players to adapt quickly as Lions were looking for positive results against the host. England A opened the tour with a 3-day tour match at Sabina Park on February 5th before clashing with Windies A in the opening Test at the Trelawney Multipurpose Complex starting February 11. The second match is scheduled for Sabina Park from February 18th to 21st before teams head to Antigua for the final Test from February 26th to March 1st at the Vivian Richards Cricket Ground. All 3 matches in the 50-over series will be played at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua. Switching to hockey, Trinidad and Tobago's stickmen have left for Holland to prepare for their quest for gold in the 5th Indo World Cup in February in Germany. TNT had qualified for a spot after their 7-0 demolition of Australia in last year's qualifiers. Ruskin Mark of C Sport has the details.
I think Darren and myself, we know we've been talking through this whole process of this campaign, and we're really looking at our top 4. We're really looking at our top 4, and that's where our minds are. Yeah, so we know that we start off the campaign on the 7th versus Czech Republic.
The coach setting the tone there for the rest of the team as they left our shores bound for Germany via Holland. Their mission isn't quite an impossible one, but they are undaunted and feel that they have what it takes to achieve their goals.
Yeah, the chemistry has been good from the start. I mean, coming out to Guyana, winning the Pan Am Indo, we only brought in like about 6 players to kind of vie for spots. 3 out of those 6 made it to the final 13 that we have selected. And, you know, it's not affecting the team chemistry. You know, these guys have known each other for a long time. When they talk about hockey in Trinidad and Tobago, it's almost like a family. I mean, Rafi has his son playing on the squad. I have a few guys who I've been close with since I've been in primary school and secondary school playing on this team. So, you know, all of us are very close and close-knitted, and we understand each other's likes and dislikes. So, you know, that chemistry will never go away.
The coach has his preference for the kind of surface on which the sport is played and feels the indoor game is quite suited for local players.
The indoor game is definitely much faster, maybe more entertaining for spectators. Because of the speed of the game, you'll get more goals coming out of the indoor game. Keepers are probably much more important where indoor is concerned because they're more in contact with saves because of the shortness of the court. Much more rotation, so you need a very good experience and fit bench to get through successfully in indoor hockey as well too. So I mean they are similar but different in a sense where the tempo of the game is concerned.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Come and experience fun, meet amazing people, and enjoy fantastic food at the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of festivities from June 27th to July 1st of 2018, with main stage performances from the 28th to the 30th. Here's the first wave of confirmed acts. The legendary Patti LaBelle, Queen of Dancehall, Spice, Miss Lauryn Hill. Many more acts to be announced. Book now and save the date. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.net. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Ladies, grab your girlfriends, grab your guys, grab the whole family. Bring them out to the Concord Experience, where we say aloha to Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival. It's Lays, pineapples, coconuts, cocktails, and so much more Saturday, February 3rd and Sunday, February 4th from 12 noon. Be sure to visit the Hyundai Soundstage, the Arts Village, or enjoy our specialty events such as Feminars, the YWCA Charity Brunch, and the Stay Free Pad Parties. And we can't forget the fashion shows on the Neutrogena main stage. So get your early bird tickets now for only $20 from all Ticket Pal box offices, Cook's Finest, and all Italia Coffee locations, or enjoy the all-inclusive VIP foodie experience for only $80. Art parties, rejuvenation, shopping, food, and good friends. It's Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival 2018. Aloha! Thanks to Hyundai, Easy Pave Hardware, M Money by Bit, IGM Stage Lighting, Purity Bakeries, Y103.3 FM, The Spa Lounge, NCS, Sun General Insurance, and Trident 10 TV.
Again, the major development of this day, the state of emergency in the parish of St. James in Jamaica extended for another 3 months. That's Caribbean Newsline. Do have yourselves a very good evening.